Thank you so much for those kind words. I am delighted to be here. I apologize for not being here last night. Right before I was invited, I committed to emceeing a program with the mayor, and you don't turn the mayor down. Not when you're the dean of the public school, public appropriations being what they are. And I got to leave tonight because I live in Washington, D.C., Mecca for the legal world, and we are opening the African American History Museum tomorrow. And I need to be there for every minute of that. But I couldn't not come. I came last year, and this is just a fabulous gathering. You are so delicious. So I just wanted to get a chance to say hi. So I want to tell you a little bit about my journey as a lawyer. I was so happy to hear from you, Mr. McConnell, because my daughter just finished in the 5.5-year program, and I believe she did major in partying, and you give me hope. You really do. You really do. My journey, I was a psychology major, so I'll bet there's every different major in this room, and that's as it should be. You can go to law school having studied anything at all. It's a very general degree. I got a job after college in Lorton Prison, which is the nation's capital's prison. I was the 21-year-old white girl in a prison that was 100% African-American prisoners. And I don't think I was very helpful as a psychologist. I helped some guys get their poetry published, and I was a listening ear, and I helped a lot of their families get winter clothes and that kind of thing, because when dad goes to jail, sometimes the families fall on hard times. But I didn't think I was where I needed to be. And I was offended by the waste of human beings. Locked up for something they did forever ago. It just was a waste. I hated it. I hated it. And I felt like I could be of more use helping people to stay out of jail. And I went to law school with the express idea of becoming a defense attorney. So my first year at Georgetown, on my way home from contracts class, I was pulled over for making an illegal right-hand turn. And the police officer ran a whales check on me, and I had 12 unpaid parking tickets. And so he put me in a paddy wagon and took me to jail, the 2nd District Police Headquarters, where I was strip searched, taken in a paddy wagon down to the Women's Detention Center and strip searched again. I got out, my sister bailed me out in the middle of the night, and a family friend called me and begged me to go to the ACLU because they were looking for plaintiffs to end the practice of strip searching for traffic tickets. I kind of felt like a criminal. I didn't pay my parking tickets. But finally she browbeat me into going down, and I walked out of the ACLU not feeling like a criminal, but feeling like a soldier in a cause. Because it's not right to strip search people for parking tickets. That's not the way the government should operate. And that's why I love lawyers. I love lawyers. I was a plaintiff in a federal case that ended the practice of strip searching for traffic tickets when I was a first-year law student. I didn't do too well in my moot court argument because I was having my deposition taken. But that's okay, I learned what I needed to learn. So I got out, I became a criminal defense lawyer, and I did that for 10 years. I ran a criminal defense clinic, and I was in court all day, every day, tearing it up with our law students. That's right, walked a lot of people out of jail. So I did what I wanted to do, and I loved it. But I loved what Ms. Turner said. She's done a lot of things, and it turns out a law degree prepares you to do a lot of things. I didn't think I'd ever do anything else. I blinked and I became an administrator. I became an academic dean. What? Believe me, I could have been voted least likely to be a dean in my class at Georgetown. But I became a dean. I became a clinic director. And in my career, I've gotten to be the president of the American Civil Liberties Union. You know what they do, right? They protect, they keep you safe and free. Okay, yeah. So Google the ACLU, because when the police are are doing things they're not supposed to be doing, the ACLU takes those cases. And nowadays, we have citizens who take pictures on cameras and videos on cameras. And so the ACLU and other great racial justice-oriented organizations can win cases because we have proof. It's not just the cop's word against the individual. We win more now. It's a wonderful thing. So I've gotten to do legislation. I ran a legislation clinic for a few years, health and safety, criminal justice, and environmental justice legislation, You get to change the law as a lawyer. It's wonderful. And I've gotten to be dean. I've been dean of an HBCU for 18 years, and believe me, I never thought any of that would happen, for all the obvious reasons. What can I tell you? I can't explain it. I want to tell you, I've had a television show for 15 years called Sound Advice, and I interview legal services providers, poverty lawyers, people who, like me, are on this earth to try to end poverty and inequality, and clients and judges. I have people on to help folks learn, where do you go when you have this kind of problem? When your grandmother's the victim of predatory lending, where can you get some help for that? Who can help you? Who's going to meet you at the courthouse when you're the victim of domestic violence? So I've loved doing that too. I love lawyers, and I love being a lawyer because I've gotten to do so many important and interesting and engaging and life-changing things, just personally. It's been a gift, so I can't encourage you to join our merry band enough. So let me tell you a little bit about UDC. It's not the generic law school. If you want to be a corporate lawyer, you can do that at UDC. But if you want to be a social justice warrior, come see me. Email me, sbroderick@udc.edu. Easiest thing about my life, sbroderick@udc.edu. If you come to DC, come by. Come see me and my merry band. We have the most commitment to clinical legal education of any law school. Every student is required to do 14 credits, 740 hours, representing the needs of low-income DC residents. We are statutorily required to do that. Our statute reads, recruit and enroll students from racial, ethnic, and other backgrounds traditionally underrepresented at the bar. How cool is that mission? We're 67% students of color. Our faculty is over half people of color, primarily African American, but we've got some other stuff. The other part of our mission is to represent the legal needs of low-income DC residents to the maximum extent feasible through the school's legal clinics. So we have 9 clinics. You wanna be a criminal defense lawyer? We got you. You wanna represent kids with special education needs and those who've been abused and neglected? We got you. You wanna do community development, help tenants purchase and renovate their buildings? We got you. You wanna help low-income tenants beat back illegal rent increases? We got you. We've got a government accountability clinic. We represent whistleblowers. You know what happens when you blow the whistle on fraud, waste, and mismanagement, right? You get fired. You need a lawyer to help you get your job back, right? So we got you if you want to do that important work. We have a low-income taxpayer clinic. The government has all kinds of options for low-income people. Earned income tax credit is a wonderful option. Then they give you 70 pages of regulations nobody can follow. People fall afoul of those, and then they get prosecuted, and the government tries to get that money back, and families hit the rocks. We got you. We just won this week $6,000 on behalf of a low-income family. That just brings tears to my eyes. That life has changed. They have a health crisis. They can get through it now. It's a wonderful thing. We also forged the first MOU of any law school with Cuba, University of Havana, where Fidel Castro went. I went down there the June before last, and we spent several days being briefed by those deans, women deans, I might add, at the University of Havana, and they also have a large tank in front of the law school, which I actually some days think is a good idea. And last January, we sent 16 students and 3 faculty members down to Cuba for service learning. We do service learning every year at spring break and sometimes in the summer. This year we'll be going down, you know, in our wisdom, this country finds folks who flee Honduras and other Central American countries with their moms, with their kids oftentimes. And then they get to this country and we lock them up under the current administration. I'm happy with a lot about the current administration, but not that. And we've sent students and faculty down and walked families out by changing the decision on credible threat. We got those folks too. So anyway, I want you to Google us and take a look. If you want to be in the nation's capital, if you want to actually go to the Supreme Court and hear the same-sex marriage, as I was proud to do, hear that case and hear the Fisher case, I was there for that, and many of my students too. If you want to be in DC, think about UDC. Be a smart legal consumer. It's $12,000 a year for a DC resident, and you can become a DC resident in a year. And it's $24,000, a little under that, if you're not a DC resident. It's affordable. If you want to be a social justice warrior, you can't actually graduate with massive debt. You know, that doesn't work because you're not going to get rich. So you've got to be smart about where you pick and think about going to law school. So give it a look. It's a great, great place. And DC is the center of the legal universe. 20% of our class last year got judicial clerkships. That's an initiative we've started. We're proud to know Art Burnett and other judges all across DC and help our students get those gigs. We've got great pathways that lead to great parts of this profession. So thank you so much for having me, and I hope to hear from you, and I wish you all the very best.